Hello everybody, here we are for Week 9 picks and predictions, talking about my picks and kind of why I think they're going to win these games or who's going to win these games, all the good stuff. Before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. I thank you for all your support. That being said, let's get on into it. So the first game of the week will be BC playing Winnipeg. This is a huge game out west for the top spot. I believe if Winnipeg were to win this, they would end up going into first place, and right now you're looking at BC without Vernon Adams Jr. Of course, Dane Evans has been able to pick up some wins in his absence, but that's kind of a talking point as this one is at IG Field in Manitoba. The Bombers looking to get a little bit of revenge on the Lions. Of course, you know, the Lions have been able to have their number a little bit in recent memory. Of course, Winnipeg had their number last year in the Western Final, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this game and who I think is going to win on Thursday night. I am personally going to go with Winnipeg here. Again, this Lions defense has been absolutely incredible, and you know, you just look at what they've been able to do and how they've been able to get turnovers, to get pressure on the quarterback, to really limit points. They've not allowed a lot of touchdowns through this point of the season. It's amazing. However, I'm kind of looking at this through the lens of, since Dane has come on in, the offense hasn't necessarily been great. They relied on some bigger plays in order to score points. They really kind of, you know, had a point in the game against Edmonton last week where, you know, it was kind of close. So I kind of feel like if Winnipeg is back, they're getting a little bit better. Lawler is back here for this game. The Blue Bombers, if I'm not mistaken, are coming off of a bye week of preparation with Lawler back, and the Lions probably needing some big plays in order to score points. I don't see this happening. As a Lions fan, I would love to see us get the win. However, I would settle for a great game between these two sides. Kind of controversial, but yes, I'm going with Winnipeg, and I don't really feel like that's controversial. The second game of the week is Friday night in Calgary as the Toronto Argonauts take on the Calgary Stampeders in Alberta. Now, I was about to say Manitoba, but yes, Alberta. This one is going to be at 9 o'clock. I'm excited for this one as you get to see a Toronto side looking to go 7-0 for the first time in history, if I'm not mistaken, and a Calgary side that really needs to get things going, because if they lost this game, they would go to 2-6 on the year. I'm just going to go out and say it. I think Toronto should win this game. Do I feel like it's a trap game? Absolutely. I don't think the Stamps are as bad as the record indicates. However, I will say Toronto's defense, you know, they've been able to get turnovers. They've been able to get points. The special teams, I think, has been able to come through at times, and I think this offense is plenty capable. At the same time, I also have to say this. The defensive line is getting healthy for them. They have struggled to have health at the D-line all year, at least the starting D-linemen for them. They could very well just continue to get better throughout this season, and even though they might pick up a few losses here or there, I think Toronto has the capability to be a better team compared to the start of the year versus the end of the year. Yeah, I know it sounds weird if you get a loss here or there that you would be a better team, but just getting more experience, getting more reps, and kind of getting a little bit of momentum headed towards the playoffs would be big. As for Calgary, they have to be able to score points, and Jake Merriman, he has to stop turning the ball over. Last year, and from what we've seen up until this season, he had been really good about not turning the ball over a lot. This year, he has something like 10 interceptions on the season. Not going to work. If you play a Toronto side that is this good or has been this good up to this point, they are going to win. They're going to make you look bad, and Calgary is going to need a good game from there, which he's shown he's been capable of doing. But at the same time, you got to be able to not throw to guys like Jamal Peters. They've got some other guys too. Amos had a good game last week. So yeah, going to be picking Toronto. Do think this has a possibility to be a trap though. Then the final two games of the week, I feel like are kind of hard to pick here. This is going to be the third game of the week on Saturday night. Montreal is traveling to Hamilton. This is going to be one of those games where Hamilton has been better as of late, but they just lost Levi Mitchell again. Montreal hasn't been that incredible, and finally was able to end a long losing streak. Long, I say 3 games, but they are looking for a little bit of momentum as well. The offense has more potential than I think it's letting on. They're unable to score a lot of touchdowns, especially as of late, but I do believe in Montreal's receiving corps, and you know, the defense has been able to kind of keep them in these games. But you look at what William Stanback was able to do, especially against that first quarter against Calgary. If he can kind of get that rhythm going again and they're able to finish off drives, it's going to be good for them. As for Hamilton, they ended up winning despite 5 interceptions last week. So credit to the defense for being able to limit Ottawa offensively. Not exactly sure who's going to start here for the Tiger Cats. I'm expecting Powell probably would go out there. Powell didn't look terrible a couple weeks ago when he played, just kind of some safer routes, and I think he did a good job for the most part of not turning the ball over. Maybe the offense was predictable. I don't know. This one's going to be tough because both sides really need a win here. And I do think that this could be a close game. However, I'm going to be picking Montreal. Like I've been saying all year, Montreal was a team that I had pretty low expectations on. The receiving core was a big question mark for me with Mac emerging and just kind of them getting healthy. I'm really starting to buy into what they're able to do a little bit more. Do I think Montreal is a contender? No, I don't. But I do think that they should be able to beat a Powell-led Hamilton team. And I do think for the Alouettes, that would be good news for them as they get back into a consecutive game where they would get the win and win over a division rival as they try to kind of stay in the mix there for that 2 spot. And I think with the win, they would end up being or maintaining that 2nd spot right there out east. Then we have the final game of the week, and this one's going to be a doozy because I really don't know what's going to happen here as you have the Ottawa Redbikes taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I have no idea what to expect here. You have Dustin Crum, you have Mason Fine going out here, and this game should be kind of a toss-up, but I don't think I remember who I picked for my group pick, so if Central sees this is going to be my actual pick, not what I told you. If it's different, but if it's the same, then yes, it's going to be the same pick. For this game, I gotta be honest, I think I'm gonna be picking Ottawa here. Kind of kept it short and to the chase. I just feel like with the Redbikes, they are a side that has been able to get some momentum the past 3 weeks. Saskatchewan didn't look incredible last week against Toronto. Now, granted, Toronto was 6-0. Self-inflicted wounds and just kind of some bad plays. I don't think that the Roughriders are, again, a team that is as bad as the record indicates because, again, they are without Trevor Harris, so that kind of plays a factor. Sean Bain Jr. looks good. Tevin Jones obviously has been good, and they've got some other guys that are good players for them. However, as of right now, if the Roughriders defense is not able to contain Crum and they get Tuggle going downfield with some carries, I think it could be good. I really like Ottawa's defense. Lewis Ward is automatic, and I think for them they could get a big road win here as Ottawa feels like they've kind of got some momentum shifting in the right direction for the first time in a couple of years. Saskatchewan, not really, and I don't think it's Mason Fine's fault. I just think in general they are a team that is missing their veteran leadership there in Trevor Harris, and they are a little bit predictable on offense. But anyway, those are my picks for the week. I'm picking Winnipeg, I'm picking Toronto, I'm picking Montreal and Ottawa. What are your picks for the week? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe and have a great night.